So, there's been a lot of talk lately of this possibly happening. And not only that, but another thing I'm going to talk about in the upcoming video. That being, movie-wise, we may get a Godzilla Pacific Rim crossover. Now, years back, before even Godzilla 2014 even showed up, Guillermo del Toro talked about how he would love to do a Godzilla Pacific Rim crossover. And in there, he just talked about, it's just talk, I just kind of want to do it, and I think it would be fun. But now, recently, there's been a lot of buzz of this being an actual possibility. Now, obviously, Godzilla and Pacific Rim have had a massive amount of popularity. They've had a massive amount of a fan base behind them, and it would be cool, don't get me wrong, to see them finally cross over in the film. The thing is that I personally don't want it to be too soon. I think what should happen is that Godzilla and Pacific Rim should establish themselves a bit more, and then when you feel like it's the right time, then do it, rather than just jump right into it and have all these characters in here for no reason. That sound familiar? Nah, I'm just kidding. There's a part of me that is excited for Superman, Batman, Dawn of Justice. I'm just hoping Legendary doesn't look at this the same way. Legendary doesn't look at at what Superman and Batman are trying to do and be like, yeah, let's do that, and just throw everything in there. Because with Godzilla 2, you've already got 3 other major characters from the Godzilla universe: Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. And Pacific Rim hasn't had its sequel yet, which isn't until 2017, which we don't even know the full extent of that, other than it's coming out with an animated series. Now, yeah, would I love to see Godzilla and Pacific Rim have a crossover? Oh yeah, I would absolutely love to see Gypsy Danger and Godzilla slug it out. I would love to see that. But, like I said earlier, I think you should do some establishment first. I think there should be some boundaries, and let them, breathe on their own. These are completely new franchises. Both Godzilla and Pacific Rim came out within a year, a year span between one another. And I think you should, give them a chance to at least, give them establish their own universes, respectively. I mean, you could say, oh yeah, Pacific Rim is a very open-shut case, but on the other hand, yeah, we're getting a sequel, and we don't even know what that's going to be about. Whereas Godzilla, all we know is that Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah are going to be in the next movie. That's all we know, is that they're going to be in the following film. And in that regard, you have some major again, when you cross them over, I really hope it's going to be epic, especially this universe's Godzilla, who is moves very much like the kaiju we saw in Pacific Rim. And I think there is, a lot of possibility of this happening because, again, both internationally did very well. Godzilla did a lot better in the U.S. than Pacific Rim, but internationally, Pacific Rim did very well. It did incredibly well, whereas Godzilla did both internationally and in the States well. So having them both together, I think you really have the possibility of doing something grand here. But just shoving them together right off the bat is not the way I'd want to do it. It's something I don't think... Because, again, you have Godzilla, who is more or less in present time, whereas we have Pacific Rim, which is an alternate continuity. So it's technically... You could say that's in either the future or in a parallel universe. Now, you could do something with Godzilla stumbling into a parallel universe, Godzilla Odyssey, and make it work. You could do that, or have Godzilla be like this ancient kaiju who's been asleep for years, finally wakes up during the whole events of what happened in the first in the previous 2 films of Pacific Rim, and then have Godzilla wake up and fight it out. But that's kind of the thing, is that with what characters could you use? I mean, we don't know who's coming back for Pacific Rim 2, and that, let alone if they come back for Pacific Rim 3, or if possible, this Godzilla crossover. We don't know if Charlie Hunnam will come back. We don't know if Idris Elba will come back. We don't know if anyone will come back for the sequel movie. At this point, all we know is that we have a set date, and that's really about it. But on the other hand, I think with Godzilla, you can do Pacific Rim with different characters. I think that there is a chance you can do other characters, like other pilots. You could say like Charlie Hunnam's character retired with his co-pilot, married her, and there's a new director of the group. There's a new director. Idris Elba's character stepped down, and now, well, he died. Sorry, he died. My bad. He's dead, and now there's a new director. So I think you can do a revolving door kind of case with in regards to Pacific Rim, similar to how I talked about with Godzilla. You can do a revolving door kind of thing with Godzilla, as long as you keep. I think the only character you need to keep on the Godzilla side is Dr. Serizawa. And if you do set this in the continuity of Pacific Rim, you could just say like it's you could have Dr. Serizawa played by an old man, or even like have Dr. Serizawa's nephew or grandson or something in that film, and say like, yeah, we handled this back in, it woke up in 1954, and then, Godzilla attacked once again in 2014. So 60 years, he literally showed up 60 years later, and then he went back into hibernation during all the events of all these kaiju attacks, and now he's woken up again after, I don't know, the imbalance of the world or something. He has to be the great equalizer. The other thing is that, would they be willing to use, would this open up the doors to other, kaiju in the Godzilla universe showing up in this movie if it does happen? Because I think like it would be cool to see like Gigan show up and be the main Gigan show up and be the main villain. Like maybe have an alien race similar to like the Simians or the cockroach aliens from Godzilla vs. Gigan show up and have the Gigan under their control, or even Orga. Well, actually, no, Orga's a little too recent, so maybe they would try to go Showa era and just stick to Gigan, or mind control other monsters throughout the Godzilla universe, and we can get our Millennium, we could get like a, legendary version of Titanosaurus, or even Mechagodzilla, or something like that along those lines in this. I mean, hell, I would absolutely love to see a version of Mechagodzilla, and this is where I think actually you could do a Mechagodzilla in the Pacific, if you cross over the Pacific Rim, because again, it's the future, they build giant mechs, or it's an alternate timeline, you pick your poison. You could do either, and I think you could say, oh well, we're building a new project, and it's called Mechagodzilla. I think this would be, if you're going to do a crossover between Godzilla and Pacific Rim, I think this would be the perfect opportunity to do, to finally build Mechagodzilla and have a logical explanation, because, like I've said before, the economy in this state, because again, they're trying to make it realistic. I think realistically, who would really, realistically, look at Godzilla and be like, it would be cool if we made a robot version of that monster and had it fight that monster. There's no one in Congress or around the world would be like, would be like, yeah, let's build a robot version of the monster that's trying to kill us all. But in here, with Pacific Rim, it's like, well, we're already building giant robot, we're already building Jaegers, let's make Mecha Jaeger. Or Jaegerzilla. That's probably what it'd be called, but we all know it'd be Mechazilla. It'd be Mechagodzilla. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it off here. What do you guys think of the possibility of a Pacific Rim Godzilla crossover? Would you guys like the idea? Would you guys hate the idea? And what would you want to see done in that story? Anyway, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys